Yes, everyone, welcome back to Forever United TV. Welcome back to another live show, everybody, bringing you completely up to date with all the news in and around Manchester United. Where there is no football midweek, there isn't much football talk going on. We have got updates from Carrington. We have got updates in and around Manchester United as a club and the stadium update there regarding seating and standing seating that's coming in at Old Trafford. But the main story that everybody's talking about at the moment is the one floating around Paul Scholes. Now, Paul Scholes has gone in big time here, I feel, on Marcus Rashford.
I really struggle to feel happy for him. And his attitude at United, the time he was leaving, I thought it was a disgrace at United.
Well, says it there, doesn't it? I'll go into details on this and actually go in a bit more depth on what Paul Scholes has said. But to break it down as well and set the scene here as well, there is more to the Marcus Rashford situation at the moment. There is, and we mentioned this the other day, so I've been digging around because more people are reporting on these so-called clause with Marcus Rashford at Barcelona. So you've got the Scholes aspect of it. We're going to talk about that. We've also got the Barcelona aspect and where the finances of the loan plus the obligation / option, whatever it is, because it seems to be up in the air. We'll discuss that in a moment. But first of all, more in-depth look from Paul Scholes now doing his podcast, which he does alongside Nicky Butt. Obviously, we've seen this. Paddy McGuinness has now appeared out of nowhere on this podcast as well, and that was on the other night. Completely irrelevant to what we're talking about right now, but Paul Scholes did actually slam Marcus Rashford. You heard the headlines there. This is a bit more detail on what Scholes actually said on Marcus Rashford, though, in this podcast.
Look, there's no doubt the talent that kid has got is ridiculous. He's shown that in a big game. That second goal was brilliant. I really struggle to feel happy for him. Do you know what I mean? To feel pleased for him. Because, not just, mainly because of his attitude. And his attitude at United, the time he was leaving, I thought it was a disgrace at United. Not trying, basically, which I think, look, if you fell out with the manager, then okay, but remember, you've got teammates you're playing with. Yeah.
Few people would say that Paul Scholes is a little bit heavy-handed with his comments there about Marcus. Some people would say about time some of the old Manchester United players actually said it as it is. Or to be honest, most of them actually do, particularly Roy Keane, particularly anyone who used to play under Sir Alex Ferguson when this club had standards, you could say also. But obviously, I think Scholes, he in his mind, and Scholes is very, very one-tracked, like he knows. And Nicky Butt also on that podcast went in and said they should be talking about Marcus Rashford and them goals and the way that he really should be being portrayed in the media after that Newcastle performance when we covered it on Football Talks. 2 fantastic goals for Marcus Rashford. Even I had to hold my hands up and say, look, good goals, well done. The game after, as we know, turns up late for training and is missing at the start of the game. He's been put on the bench as a punishment by Hansi Flick. And that's what Nicky Butt was going on about there when he said, after what Scholes said in that piece, in that clip, that this is what they should be talking about, but they're not. Why does he keep tripping himself up? Why does he keep doing this? Paul Scholes going as far as saying, I cannot even be happy for him. He was a disgrace at Manchester United. You got teammates there, whether you've fallen out with a manager or not. You act professional. Paul Scholes has been fully professional throughout his whole playing career and never really needed an agent, never really needed any outside interference. He was just straightforward. Sir Alex Ferguson loved him for that reason, and he only knows that way. So when talking about Monday football, I think he's been caught adrift a little bit. I think we can say that. That's as far as it goes when it comes to defence of what Scholes said for Marcus Rashford's part, because he's bang on the money. Marcus Rashford has been a disgrace. Marcus Rashford was nailed there by Paul Scholes and pretty much summed up by Paul Scholes in one go. How can you go from that high at Newcastle to then not turning up? If you listen to more of that, then Scholes goes on to actually say, how can you be late this day and age? You got a phone. You got an alarm. Like, Roy Keane would say the same. Any normal footballer would say the same. This is the same problem that we had with Jadon Sancho. So you can see this here. And luckily for Manchester United, and this is why I wanted to make a bigger point of this story, but Scholes has laid it out there. He's laid it out thick for everybody to see. And again, I find myself agreeing with Paul Scholes more on this in terms of Marcus Rashford, but Man United are lucky that we've got rid of Marcus Rashford in a way. We haven't got this problem to deal with, and Barcelona do want Marcus Rashford, so we have to be thankful that we've not got this issue at our football club. We haven't got his wages at this football club, and Barcelona are taking advantage of that in parts. Like, Rashford got an assist when he came off the bench at weekend, so we can't really say it's affected his game that much, particularly after the 2 brilliant goals he scored against Newcastle the other night. All we were thinking when them goals went in for Marcus Rashford against Newcastle were, thank God, we can now actually get Barcelona to buy him. And that's when the next story comes in. And the next story is, and this is probably more important because, let's be honest, who really cares what Marcus Rashford does now? Because he's not a United player and we don't care. We're talking about it because it's Scholes, and I think it needs to be brought up that this is how former professional footballers and players are looking at Marcus Rashford right now. We're not all like the Micah Richards and the Gary Linekers who go and then soft soap Marcus Rashford over in Barcelona because they got the interview. Crap that was, anyway. But Scholes pretty much speaks what the majority of Manchester United, hardcore Manchester United, I'll probably stick to majority actually, going off what we've seen on social media regarding Marcus Rashford. He pretty much speaks for all of them Man United fans. That problem's gone. But is that problem going to make Barcelona pay what Manchester United want? Now, we mentioned this the other day, so I don't want to go over old ground again, but it kept on coming up, and now ESPN have ran a story also. But I'm just going to read out the actual story itself, so you've got it, and you're completely up to date with where we're actually at with Marcus Rashford at the moment. When Rashford made his move to Spain during the summer transfer window, reports at the time claimed Barcelona had included a £26 million buy option in the deal for the English winger. Now, a report come out, however, claims that while the Catalan Giants are looking to do a deal worth in the region of 25 million, United are seeking a fee closer to 40 million mark for Marcus Rashford. Where's that come from? This would suggest there was no buy option agreed upon the initial loan agreement for the United Academy graduate. Now, when we did this story the other day, I talked about what Romano had come up with at the time, and he was the one that was quoting the 25, 26 million sort of mark as an option for Barcelona for them to take Marcus Rashford. So that there really is, well, when you look at it, I think what we all were thinking and expecting to be the actual deal for, or what it was actually worth. Leading up to the January 2025 transfer window, United communicated a desired fee of 40 million to suitors. However, there was an expectation that Rashford's hefty wages would be a stumbling block in any potential move. When Rashford joined Aston Villa on loan in January, United were able to include a 40 million buy option in the deal, which was subsequently not triggered after Unai Emery's side failed to secure Champions League football following a 2-0 defeat, funnily enough, on the final day of the season at Old Trafford. So that was what we thought was the story. Apparently not. And Manchester United and Marcus Rashford and Barcelona, well, not Marcus Rashford, Manchester United and Barcelona are discussing and haggling over a bigger fee. Well, Man United want a bigger fee, but Barcelona want to pay 25. This is going to be a problem for Manchester United. So, where we don't care what Scholes thinks of Manchester United's Marcus Rashford because it's already old news and we already know what Marcus Rashford is, what we do care about is Marcus Rashford and that attitude and that problem coming back to Manchester United, where we'll all be talking about it again. But is he going to be coming back or not? Well, if Ruben Amorim's got anything to do with it, no. But Ruben Amorim's job, obviously, is on a knife edge at the moment off the back of what we said yesterday, which was United need to finish 6th this season to financially secure their plans and their future in the transfer markets. If you haven't seen that video, go and catch up with that from last night. I did a special on what Ineos are expecting from Ruben and the finances that are included in that. So, realistically, Ruben's holding Manchester United's future in his hands, and then we're looking at obviously Ruben hopefully staying because he's done well, and then we can move all of the loan players on that we know are going to be leaving on buy options like Rasmus and Marcus Rashford. None of them players are going to come back under a new manager. I don't think they would anyway, even with the new ownership and management team at Manchester United in place. They're pretty much of the same thinking as us and Ruben. But you just don't want that problem to come back in the summer. Let's just get a deal done and let's just get this out of the way. But I'm kind of concerned that, again, it just looks like a bit of a circus. And why has this story come out of nowhere on Marcus Rashford that we haven't actually agreed a loan fee? There's nothing in place. And now United want more because what? He scored 2 goals the other night. Just take the 26 million and do one. Just leave him. Get him gone. That's what I hope happens anyway. But look, we'll see how that one turns out. Let's get into some of the comments on this before we move on to the next story. I want to try and get through all of the news as quickly as possible for you all tonight because it is a shorter live show. We're going to cover everything. We pretty much covered most of it throughout the day. Go and check out the other content regarding the goalkeeping situation, which was a report. That's another video that's up on the channel now as well. So go and have a look at that also. When this video is finished. But into the live comments, and please do get into the normal comment section below when the live is finished, please, everybody, as well. Rashford doesn't deserve to be prancing around in Barca shirt, in a Barca shirt, but is what it is. Well, yeah, you could say that. Leave Rashford alone and focus on our game. You talk about him because you care. Don't lie. Leave him alone. Grow up yourself. Jeff, I've told you exactly what I thought, and you still come up with a ridiculous comment, mate. Oh, come on, Jeff. I've told everyone, if you're going to have a go, give me some context and actually come back with something decent, mate. I'm all here for taking criticism, but when you come up with that dross, come on, mate, you're going to be laughed at. And probably most people in the chat are right now. So come on, come back with something better, mate, than that. Please do. Thank you, Stu, for dropping the link into Match Bingo again. We did talk about this earlier on, everybody. Gems, who is in the chat, one of the mods, has won over 600 quid so far on Match Bingo. You'll see the QR code floating up and the link in the live chat. Click on it and use promo code FUTV when going through to checkout when you put your deposit in and have that boosted by 200%. Get to it, everybody, and give yourselves a chance before the game this weekend against Brentford because we're continuing it and it's not going to be here forever. So make sure that you do get in now while you can on Match Bingo, everybody. It is there. The mods are also dropping the links for our other video sponsors, OK Jerseys. Grab any of the latest kits for 15 quid with discounts as well. Discount code Adam. Get that now, everybody. Make sure that you grab them while you can before Christmas comes around and you're set. And get that in ready. Honestly, bargains. Any shirt you want. All replica kits. Everything is there, everybody. Get onto it. Rashford had one moment in a Barca shirt and everyone's going crazy. This is Rashford, one great moment. And then 30 crap games. Leave him at Barca. Don't want to see him. Don't want to see that lad around United ever again. Yeah, look, we've all said it. Paul Scholes has said it. We agree with Scholes there. There'll always be people that back Marcus Rashford. That's fine. Go for it. But when you're talking to Manchester United fans, like I just said, if you're going to have a go at us for talking about this, let's not forget he's still a United player on the books and we want the maximum money we can get for him. We want him gone. So we're always going to talk about our own players and issues. And if this is going to be an issue between United and Barca and it doesn't end up going there, then it is going to be a problem. So we've got, more than the right to actually talk about Marcus Rashford right now. And like I said, make sure you come back with a decent argument on top of that. Otherwise, you're going to be laughed at. Players like Rashford are incredibly lucky to be at the club like Barcelona. He certainly doesn't deserve to be. I certainly would bolt the doors shut if he comes back to United. We don't want him back. And I don't think he'll come back. I actually do think that Barca will make the deal happen and everyone will be happy. Rashford, Barca, United, get it done, move on. Simple as. And I think next summer we will get to that. I just hope United don't balls this up. Don't balls it up. Just accept that low fee and get him gone. That's all I want. I don't care about anything else right now. And Scholes is right. I agree with him. It is worth talking about, though, because he's right, and he always will be with that. And I don't think there's Man United fans that will disagree with him. Moving on to the other news as well. Diogo Dalot, as you can see across the bottom of the screen, is back and back in contention. Back from injury and could feature this weekend. Whether you think that is good news or not, well, that's completely up to you. Get into the comments and let me know what you think about Dalot coming back. Would he come into the team? I don't see where he does, unless Ruben wants to be really, really, really defence-minded and give us the horrible, horrible scenario of having Mazraoui at right wing-back and Dalot at left wing-back. Please don't do that. Please don't do that, Ruben. I beg you, please. Just let Dalot sit where he should be as a reserve defender to come on when needed he again has done nothing this season to prove that Manchester United should be playing him in the first team or in the starting 11, definitely. On to the news around the stadium. We have got some other updates coming, but I wanted to touch on this before I forgot. Manchester United, and this is, I think, a good thing, and a good thing that Ineos are actually putting in place, but Manchester United are about to expand their safe standing section in the Stretford End to over 6,000 more safe standing seats, which is obviously going to encourage more of the hardcore and a better atmosphere. That is all important when it comes to Old Trafford, when it comes to that atmosphere. Like I've said before, Manchester United need to make Old Trafford a cauldron. Manchester United need to make Old Trafford a place to fear again. We need to make that our base, our go-to, our safe ground, you could say, where we know we're going to win. We cannot be allowing teams to come to Old Trafford and anything, coming to Old Trafford and having an easy ride, and anything which adds to the atmosphere, which gives us a little bit more of an edge at Old Trafford, I'm all for. 100% all in on that, and I think safe standing in all of the Stretford End is exactly the right way to go. So well done Manchester United for pushing that out even more. I think it will just encourage more atmosphere and more of the hardcore. I do believe that we are going to see that make a massive difference. I really do. And that's a big thing. Manchester United, Old Trafford needs to have that boom, that X factor, and this will bring it, I think. I think it really will. And I do think that it's a big thing for the fans also, because it just brings it moves that atmosphere to the bottom of the Stretford End back again, and you've obviously got the top tier of the Stretford End, which has got the great atmosphere also. So that, I think, is definitely going to help Manchester United going forward, and I think in the future, I think you'll start to see an even better atmosphere at Old Trafford because of it. And like I said, it gives them fans and them more hardcore fans and the ones that want to stand up and the ones that want to sing and want to chant, it gives them their opportunity just to be in that part. And I think that's where Manchester United want to go with the new stadium as well. So I feel like moving all of that into there and making a big feature of that Stretford End set up in the new stadium as well. I think they said it was about, how many was it? It was over 25,000 in one stand, which would be the new Stretford End in the new stadium, which is staggering for a stand behind a goal. So Manchester United's very own red wall or new Stretford End, I think this is where they're aiming with it, to be honest. Other news as well is that I don't think we will see Tyrell Malacia back, but the talk is that Tyrell Malacia is back training with the under-21s, wants to play with the under-21s, is impressing, and his intensity, and this has come from the Daily Mail, which will be someone telling the likes of Nate Salt or Chris Wheeler, them journalists, directly from Manchester United, that word for word, his intensity numbers are off scale. Well, I really don't care, to be honest. He should be off the scale with the amount of time that he's had off. He should be fit as a fiddle when it comes to training. I still don't see him ever coming back into Manchester United's reckoning in the first team. He will be moved on in the January transfer window. I think that will see him to the end of his contract anyway, and he will be released for free in the summer. And then, like I said, through the transfer window, Malacia's wage, $75,000 a week, will be off the books at Manchester United, and we move on from there. That's it. Malacia gone. He wants to play in the 21s. Interesting how Ruben integrated him back in, but didn't allow him to come back into the first team. He's put him in the 21s. He still cannot and isn't ready to play for the 21s yet. Honestly, I'm not really bothered about this. I'm just bringing the news as it is and what's actually happening right now. Smash the like button, people. Support the community, please, says Pablo. Thank you for that, mate. And he has renewed his membership as well. Thank you very much, mate, for that one. Regarding Rashford, says Lee, a leopard can't change its spots. It's only a matter of time before he F's up again. His talent has never been in question. His attitude and arrogance, however, has. Yes, I agree with that one. I really do. Let's see what else we've got in here. Just quickly going through these comments. That will be Dalot in for Ahmad on Saturday then. Or is he going to be in for Dargu? Trust me on this one. When Dalot's available, Ruben Amorim cannot resist putting him in the side. And I don't know why. I really don't know why. But in a must-win game, you've just had some great performances from the likes of Dargu, who created chances for Manchester United in that game against Chelsea. Your must-win game that you had to win, and then he's going to change Dalot and put him straight back into the side, who has been part of Manchester United's, let's just say, crap performances over the last few months, going into the back end of last season. I don't know why he plays him. I don't know what he offers us. Going forward, Manchester United will be severely hampered by Dalot coming into the side because he offers nothing going forward. Just like Mazraoui. Mazraoui can put a good cross in, but he isn't attack-minded. He's automatic. His automatic thinking and programming is defending, and so too is Dalot's. So straight away, the key parts of that midfield are now, and then wing-backs are now going to be defensive players against Brentford. That's what I'm worried about might happen at weekend. Look, it might not. He might not do it, but knowing what Ruben is like, I can see Dalot, whenever he's available, coming straight back into the bleeding side. I hope he changes. And these are the little changes that we want to see from Ruben Amorim, don't forget. When we're talking about him not changing his shape, let's just tweak the personnel. Let's just tweak it a little bit and adapt the shape to that player coming in. Like, Dargu is a great threat for Manchester United going forward. At moments in that game against Chelsea at weekend, he was actually further forward than what Ahmad was. And he was a real threat in that game. Dalot's just not going to give you that. Yeah, he had a good game against Burnley. Fair enough. Give him his credit for that. But Dalot has let us down too many times with his inconsistencies. I love the guy, a great attitude, fantastic professional. But I think it is time that somebody else got a chance as well. And he should not be number one pick, I don't think. Just my opinion on Dalot and where we're at with him. I think that's a given, to be honest, for most Man United fans. But is there anyone in the chat that would bring Dalot straight back into the side, by the way? Covering everything and going over everything we've talked about so far in the video, everyone. Please just get your comments in and let me know. Would you bring him back in? Let me know on this one. Under Amorim, if you speak Portuguese, you're in. I might start learning Portuguese. I'll play for free as well. Great starts for Bruno. How many shots did it take? How many are penalties? How many times has he not followed his man back? Remember throwing Euro under the bus a couple of weeks ago. Again, David, like, I can see talking with Graham there and everyone having their debates here and there. The hate for Bruno Fernandes, like, seriously, let it go. He is not the problem at Manchester United right now. Honestly, like, have an opinion, but man, you are slaughtering one of the most professional players that we've had in the biggest era of pure crap at this football club. Like, I will never understand it. I will never understand the hate that Bruno gets, and it is hate at this point. Because he does stand up and he's counted every single week when it comes to application. Yes, he makes mistakes. But why are we highlighting him so much? I mean, the problem you've got with Bruno isn't Bruno, it's Ruben. That's what the problem is with Bruno Fernandes. You'll get games like he did at Chelsea where it falls into place. And if United score first, Bruno looks great. If United don't score first, like we've said before, they start chasing it. He starts trying to do other people's jobs. I get the problem with Bruno, but you're never going to get me coming out and making excuses just to have a go at Bruno Fernandes, which is what I think a lot of actual fans do. I just don't think it's right. I really don't. But yeah, honestly, Dalot is more of a concern than Bruno Fernandes for me. I would not bring Dalot back into the side. I don't think he should come back anyway. Even if you wanted to bring him back, don't bring him back into a game which is going to be high intensity. It's not the right type of game to bring somebody back who has been missing for about 3 or 4 weeks with an injury. Don't bring him back into this cauldron because we have been here before. And Man United at Brentford, well, let's be clear, like, we don't have a good track record, do we? So, I can't remember the last time. I mean, the last time Manchester United won at Brentford, Cristiano Ronaldo and Mason Greenwood were both playing in that game. And so too was Elanga. In fact, Anthony Elanga scored in that game. That's the last time United got 3 points at the Vitality. So this isn't an easy game for Manchester United. Even if they've got 1 win this season and are sat in, I think, 16th or 17th right now. It's not been a great start, but they could easily overtake us with a win this weekend, and then they could be laughing at us having a crap start. That's how close the table is right now, and it's not a given at weekend. I would not be bringing Dalot back into that side. I definitely would be thinking elsewhere when it comes to players that are going to give Manchester United more and be ready to go. I think it has to be looked at along the lines of Dorgu 100% has to be in that side. You can argue the point over Mazraoui, but Mazraoui is one of our best players, so Dalot can sit on the bench for me. He really can. Super chat in from Ant, who says, talent is nothing in capitals without mentality. Ravel was 100 times the player of Rashford and Garnacho combined, but still failed. Mental strength is everything, says Ant. Thanks for the super chat, Ant. Please get the likes in as well, everybody. Get into them. Make sure you've hit the subscribe button also. Thank you again, everyone, for all of them likes already. Let's see what else we've got quickly before we finish up. Amorim only wants Portuguese players. That's why he kicked out Højlund and Rashford. Well, no, Rashford was just wasting everybody's time with his attitude and his problems. Again, no, he didn't kick Rashford out because he's not Portuguese. And that wasn't the case with Højlund either. I wanted both of them players out. And it definitely wasn't because of their nationality, I'll say that. It was because they just weren't willing or weren't good enough. In both cases, Rasmus not good enough and Marcus Rashford not willing. And like Scholes said, disgrace. Disgrace. Peter says, Adam, it's easy why the hate for Bruno is so bad because I think it's press driven. Also, from outer TV shows going on him, there's some fans think will their pro players and pundits, so they must know. All right, so some fans, it was a bit of a typo there, I think, mate. Yeah, some fans think they're pro players and pundits. I think they're right. G-Tech, sorry, not VTech, G-Tech Stadium. I got that wrong there. Tim, thank you for that. Top man. Yeah, I know what you're saying there, Pete, as well. Like, everyone's welcome to their opinion, though. Everyone should have an opinion on the likes of Bruno Fernandes. I'm not saying you can't. I just think some people sometimes deliberately dig Bruno out because they can't find any other problems. I think they've just programmed into hating it. And some people, and this is the worst bit, like some people always have an opinion of Bruno, but it's like, for instance, and I don't want to bring him up in the chat right now, but Carl, United Spotlight, we've always had debates regarding Bruno Fernandes. We've always talked about it. He's not a Bruno Fernandes fan, but calls a spade. When Bruno plays well, he says it. Some people just won't see Bruno Fernandes ever playing well. In fact, some people will say, I thought Bruno was all right today, but this is the problem with Bruno. Well, why don't you just talk about the Bruno was all right instead of going, oh, well, this is the problem. He's still doing this, he's still doing that, but he did okay today. No, we'll just start with okay and leave it. Yeah, won the game, and Bruno was the one that had more energy than anyone left in that game at weekend. So, yeah, let's just go down that road, shall we, instead of driving the negative like a lot of people do. I'm not saying he is the saviour for Manchester United. In fact, you all know what my opinion is. I think he should be sold in the summer, and United need to move on. Whether or not we will rue the chance of selling him this summer, we will see come the end of the season. Ruben Amorim, like we said, will die on that Bruno Fernandes sword in midfield. But I do think Man United will buy another midfielder in January. So we'll see past that anyway. And, of course, the proof will be there then. Is Ruben still in the job? I think at the moment I can't decide. Honestly, I still think this team is good enough to go for top 6. I still think this team could finish 17th in the league. And that's the worrying bit. Which way will it go? Because at the moment it is it's swaying, isn't it? It's like the scales. Which way are the scales going to tip? Is it going to be down the last season road, or can we get that win against Brentford, which I think will tip us towards actually now progressing and using that moment against Chelsea to our advantage finally. We've had a few of these false dawns. Can this be the one that really tips it in our favour and we go forward from here? We shall see. But for tonight, everybody, that is us all wrapped up. Yep, don't want to prolong anything. That's going to bring you the news as it is and what is out there right now. So keeping you fully up to date. We've done 3 different videos today. Go check out the other content from earlier on. We had the Manu and Xerxes transfer dilemma earlier on this morning. Then we were talking about the stories going around about Manchester United wanting another goalkeeper. Yeah, believe it or not. That was at lunchtime. And then tonight, we're talking about the Marcus Rashford transfer situation and the attitude problem that Scholes brought up as well. But that is your content for Manchester United and your news completely covered for today, everybody. Thank you so much for being with us. I know it's a shorter live show, but look, we're not just going to fill the time just talking. We're just bringing you the news. I've got a few things to do tonight anyway. The content is going to be throughout the week and it's going to be absolutely non-stop alongside Football Talks. Watch-alongs are back tomorrow, everybody, again. Until then, thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. I'll see you all tomorrow. Don't forget to click on the links in the live chats for Match Bingo and for OK Jerseys. All the information is there. Don't forget, on Match Bingo, FUTV, all caps in the promo code. Get on it and let me know how you get on as well. We're going to be doing that on the watch-alongs tomorrow, also on Football Talks. And OK Jerseys as well. Grab your kits at their discounted price for all the replicas around the world, and I mean around the world. Like the video on the way out, hit that subscribe button.